My name is Emma Robinson and I'm a researcher at the BBC. I was decidedly average at high school. The only thing about me was that I used to get in trouble only for talking too much, which I don't think you could possibly imagine, to be fair. So I just used to have lapses in concentration. I wasn't really interested in many of the subjects. I did very well in drama, and then other than that, it was kind of like I just concentrated on maths and science and English because I knew that that's what I had to pass. Definitely failed French.
Don't worry, Amanda. Girls like always get what they deserve.
Why? What are you going to do?
Nothing.
Promise me.
I promise.
Okay. You ready? Yeah. Let's go. I think when I was at high school, I hadn't planned to go to university. No one in my immediate family had been to university, and I wanted to be an actress and a performer and be on the telly. So in my head, you didn't have to go to university to do that. I did go to university. I think originally my perception of it was for clever people.
Back in school, I think earlier on, I had a few ideas, most of them related to cars, whether it was racing them or fixing them. I actually worked here before I got my apprenticeship here. It wasn't a proper job, it was work experience. You're doing year 10 or 11. And I did a week's work experience here in the workshop. When it came to finishing school, I saw they were after technicians or trainees. I applied and I think a few of the guys from the workshop remembered me. I think they may have influenced a little bit, but I still went through the whole process of being interviewed and they took me on. An apprenticeship was always the right thing for me. It's definitely given me the confidence I always lacked. The advice I'd give to myself back then, I would have probably said, think of what you love, think of what you do as a hobby, try and find work experience similar to what you enjoy. And then it gives you a better idea to whether you want to do that. The future for myself, I would like to continue working here just to build up my experience a bit better. I have only just qualified, but once I've got the experience, I'll have a level 3 diploma experience, so I could probably take that anywhere.
I was quite mixed up at school, struggled a little bit given what was going on in my home life and stuff, and it kind of flew under the radar. I mean, I did my work, essentially, but to what standard and what degree I'm not sure, do you know what I mean? But it was a struggle concentrating, and it was a struggle feeling like I was connected to the teachers and possibly other students, you know, especially if they were popular or, for want of a better word, knew what they were doing. You know, I kind of didn't. So I always wanted to be a rapper and a musician, and I got signed at sort of 18, 17 for one single release, and then it all fell through. I didn't really realise I could do it myself and go to university and make a career of it until I was 32. So I spent a lot of time between then and that time sort of doing menial work, being on the dole, struggling, as you do, losing hope, and, you know, with that, it was, and then it was kind of, I spoke to someone who said, you do know you can go to university, and you do know you're good enough, and you do, and I did, and I went, and I'm studying my master's degree in music industry management and promotion, and the idea is that I can push myself forward as the artist, but learn the necessary skills to do that.
I don't think school shaped me in any shape or form. I didn't enjoy school. I didn't feel challenged. I didn't particularly think I was good at education, but what I did know I was good at was the creative aspect of it. I was always into working with the community, writing blogs or writing stories, and an opportunity came up to do like a Bollywood update here, and I would come in on voluntary basis and do it, and then eventually that journey got more and more.
But now it is time for your premier South Asian arts and entertainment programme right here on the BBC, a nice little broadcast we like to call Desi Nation. And have we got a show lined up for you this evening?
Sorry to interrupt, I don't know if you noticed, but you forgot to say it's Desi Nation with you till 12 o'clock. You lucky people.
I did.
University was the best decision of my life. I love university. I can never repay the skills, the experience, the friends I've made. Even to this day, 10 years ago I left university, my association is just as strong.
I quite enjoyed school. I was a little bit of a geek, I think, probably. I had some fantastic teachers that were absolutely brilliant, really inspiring, and really got me into maths and chemistry in particular. So after Johnson Matthey offered me my work experience back when I was sort of 17, I went off to university and then decided that it would be really great to come back here for a summer placement. So I got that opportunity and was here for a summer placement, and that kind of started the link, and then after that I applied to the graduate scheme at Johnson Matthey. I think if you know what you want to do and if you need university for that, then it's definitely the right thing to do. I think you get plenty of support to pay your way through university, from the government, through loans and things like that. So I don't think it should feel like a barrier to anyone. Everyone out there is there to help you. There's sort of grants and bursaries and that sort of thing, plenty of opportunities. So if you want to go to university, then don't let the loan or the worry about money stop you. I think having any sort of work experience, any sort of real world way to talk about what you do at school and how that works in the real world, I think understanding that is absolutely key to deciding what job you even want to apply for in the first place. But then it really looks great to an employer if you can talk about, oh, I've seen this already, I've done that, I know that I want to do this because I've actually seen it and I've been involved with it already. So I think work placements, work experience, even if it's just a week or two, is incredibly important.
While I was studying for my degree in acting, I started to volunteer for a small production company. It's a massive bouncy castle.
Yes, it's bouncy, but what you can see behind us is a life-size replica of Stonehenge.
They then gave me some more skills in production, which I was totally new to, didn't know anything about, and I learned about how to work in a production while I was doing it. I didn't know what the official titles and the roles were, but I'm guessing I was everything. I was the runner, I was the researcher, I was the PC, I was all of these different things. So then, when it came to me graduating from university, I was so thankful because I had something else I could go and explore, and that is how I then ended up going to the BBC. I did work experience first, and I worked so hard. Oh, and I took in loads of cake, like every day. Just bake cake when you get home, feed them all cake, make them all tea, just be positive, be optimistic, always say yes to anything they ask. Do you even drink tea?
Of course I drink tea, and I wouldn't mind one. Is that an offer? Get one made?
Oh yeah, what are you after?
I'll have an Earl Grey.
Have a sniff of that. That one.
Oh, it's a good year.
I run a business called Sound Effects. There's a subsidiary business of that called We Are Noise, and what it is we run music workshops and songwriting workshops. So in essence, like, we go into prisons and we talk to the lads there, and they've been through a hell of a lot in order, from why they've ended up there. So they've got a lot to say, and they've got a story, and they can communicate that story through music. And when you hear it, you're listening to a grime artist, essentially, or a hip-hop artist. You're not necessarily listening to an ex-heroin addict who's ended up in jail. And he can see himself differently.
I closed one eye and then the other. I lost a father, sister, mother, and then eventually a brother. So figured introvertism would be the theme of the walls on my prison. And
when I think of school, I think of someone, a person who almost gave up. I really do. And being so young and to have such a big decision about giving up, I think it's a huge thing. So never, ever, ever give up. You're just taking the baby steps of a fantastic career.
Back at school, I wouldn't have a clue I'd be here today. I didn't know where I was going to be. I kind of assumed back then that I would be in college and maybe at this point looking for a job. I wouldn't have ever thought I'd be in a job for the past 3 years and fully trained in that very job.
If I had to say one thing that I may have potentially done that has changed my life drastically to bring me to this place that I am today, I'm going to say it again, it's volunteering and work experience. Just really take every opportunity that works.